You just achieved something big. Maybe it's a career breakthrough, a project you successfully completed, or a personal milestone you're truly proud of. Excited, you share the news with someone you expect to support you, but instead of joy, instead of the enthusiasm you deserve, you're met with indifference, a half-hearted response, or worse, they immediately shift the conversation back to themselves. A twinge of disappointment creeps in. This was supposed to be your moment, yet somehow you feel small, uncertain, and even guilty for succeeding. If this sounds familiar, you're dealing with a narcissist. In their world, your success isn't something to celebrate, it's a threat. It triggers their deepest insecurities, awakening the fear that you'll outgrow them, that you'll no longer rely on them, and that is something a narcissist cannot tolerate. They might mock your achievement, make you feel like you're not good enough, or hijack the moment with their own struggles. They might guilt-trip you for achieving something they haven't, or worse, act completely indifferent, leaving you wondering if what you accomplished even matters. They don't want you to grow, because that growth threatens the control they have over you, and when they feel like they're losing control, they'll do whatever it takes to pull you back down, whether through words, actions, or calculated indifference. But today, that stops. In this video, I'm exposing the shocked, envious reaction of a narcissist to your success, breaking down the psychology behind their insecurity, and most importantly, giving you the tools to protect yourself so you can thrive without their toxic influence. If you've ever felt like you had to shrink yourself just to make someone else comfortable, this video is for you. We're going to break the chains they've placed on you so you can stand tall, own your success, and never need anyone's approval to feel worthy. Get ready, because today we're taking back your power. Have you ever wondered why some people react so strangely to your success? When you achieve a milestone, whether it's a promotion, a successful business launch, or even a personal achievement, you expect those close to you to be happy for you. But instead you're met with cold indifference, a jealous stare, or condescending remarks like, "Oh, that's nice, but don't let it go to your head," or, "Well, that was just luck." Worse, the moment you start talking about your success, they immediately shift the conversation back to themselves. This isn't just ordinary indifference. This is the reaction of someone who feels threatened. To a narcissist, your success isn't something to celebrate, it's a direct threat to their fragile sense of control. It's not that they don't want you to be happy, it's that your success shatters their worldview, where they must always be the superior one. When you grow, they feel like they're being left behind. In their mind, life is a game of winners and losers, and if you're winning, that must mean they're losing. This triggers a deep-seated fear, not fear in the way most people experience it, but a fear of losing control, a fear that you no longer need them. If you were once emotionally, financially, or socially dependent on them, your success makes them feel like their place in your life is slipping away, and for a narcissist, that is unacceptable. But when faced with this fear, their instinct isn't to reflect or grow. They don't think, "Wow, this person is doing great, maybe I should step up my game too." Instead, they react with envy, insecurity, and resentment, leading them to behave in toxic and destructive ways. Some narcissists will try to downplay your success, making you feel like it's not a big deal. They'll say things like, "Well, anyone could have done that," or "It's not like you're the first person to get promoted." Their words may seem casual, but their intent is clear, to make you doubt yourself and diminish your achievement. Others will choose to deflect and steal the spotlight. The moment you share good news, they'll immediately change the subject to their own struggles, their own achievements, or even some irrelevant topic. Anything to make sure the attention is back on them. They can't stand the idea of you being in the spotlight even for a moment, so they find a way to take it back. And then there are those who take things even further. They don't just want to make you doubt yourself, they want to pull you down completely. They might create conflict at the exact moment you should be celebrating. They might skip your big event, invent an excuse to avoid showing up, or worse, stage some kind of emergency that suddenly requires everyone's attention, making sure that instead of focusing on your success, People are focused on them. If they feel like they're truly losing their grip on you, they might escalate their behavior, stirring up unnecessary drama, making you feel guilty, or even attempting to tarnish your reputation in subtle but damaging ways. But beneath all of this is one undeniable truth. They are afraid. They fear that your success will make you see your own worth and realize that you don't need them. They fear that your achievements will bring you new relationships, new opportunities, and, most terrifying of all, a new perspective on yourself, where you no longer tolerate their manipulation. They fear losing the power they once held over you, and when a narcissist feels like they're losing power, they will do anything to get it back. So how do they react? Some will withdraw in silent resentment. Some will openly sabotage you, and some will go even further, doing things that might shock you, from betraying you in unexpected ways to actively trying to tear you down. In the next section, we're going to break down the most common reactions narcissists have when they see your success, including the most subtle behaviors you may have overlooked, the manipulative tactics they use to bring you down, and, most importantly, how you can spot them before it's too late. Make sure you watch until the end, because what's coming next may leave you stunned. You'd think that when you succeed, your partner would be the first person to celebrate with you. They should be the one you call the moment you receive good news, the one who jumps for joy, pops a bottle of champagne, and looks at you with pride, saying, "You deserve this more than anyone." But with a narcissist, that moment almost never happens. Instead of celebrating with you, they feel threatened, and when they feel threatened, they don't just sit back and accept it. First, they might undermine your success. They won't say outright that you don't deserve it, but they'll plant seeds of doubt in your mind. Oh, a promotion? But are you sure you're really ready for that responsibility? Or, your business is growing? Just don't let it change you too much. These words may sound like concern, but they're carefully designed to make you second-guess yourself. Then, if subtle manipulation isn't enough, they might steal your moment entirely. Picture this. You come home, buzzing with excitement over a major opportunity you can't wait to share. But as soon as you do, they immediately shift the focus. "Oh, that's great, but you know what? I had the worst day ever." Before you know it, the conversation is all about them and your success, completely buried. But sometimes their reaction is even more extreme. When a narcissist feels pushed out of the center of attention, they might manufacture a crisis just to bring you back down. Suddenly they have a splitting headache, or they receive terrible news, or they bring up an old argument, anything to ensure that you don't get to fully enjoy your success. And if they feel like your rise is making them lose control, they might take it a step further. They might betray you. You might think, "No way, my partner would never do that." But think again. When a narcissist feels small next to you, they may seek validation elsewhere. Someone who adores them, someone more dependent on them, someone easier to manipulate than you. Sometimes cheating isn't about sex, it's about power. If they can't control you anymore, they'll find someone else who makes them feel important. But the cruelest thing they can do is make you feel guilty for your own success. They might say, "You've changed, you used to care more about family," or "We used to be so close, but now your career comes first." They make you feel like chasing your dreams is hurting them. And what does that do? It makes you shrink, it makes you step back, tone down your ambitions, maybe even turn down big opportunities, all to keep the relationship intact. And that is the ultimate trap. A partner who truly loves you will want to see you grow. They'll celebrate your success, not make you feel guilty for it. So, if you recognize these signs in your relationship, ask yourself, is this love or is this control? But there's one relationship that can be even harder to navigate when you succeed, one that has shaped you from the very beginning, your family. If you grew up in a household with narcissistic parents or relatives who feel threatened by your success, the impact can be even more profound. So, how does a narcissist in your family react when you surpass them? And how can you protect yourself without being weighed down by guilt? Stay tuned, because what you're about to hear might change the way you see your family and your success forever. Success should be something that brings a family together. When you hit a major milestone in life, landing your dream job, achieving a big goal, or simply breaking free from old limitations, you expect pride and celebration from your parents, siblings, or loved ones. But instead of congratulations, what do you get? A shrug. A passive-aggressive remark like, "Wow, look at you now. Guess you've forgotten where you came from." Or worse, a cold silence, as if they refuse to acknowledge that you've done something they never could. This isn't just indifference. It's a narcissist's defense mechanism when they feel left behind. With narcissistic parents, your success isn't something to be proud of. It's a painful reminder of what they lack. If they struggle to achieve what you now have, they won't be able to handle watching you surpass them. In their eyes, you're not their child thriving, you're a threat to their ego. They may react in several ways. Some narcissistic parents will downplay your success. They won't attack you directly, but they'll make your achievement seem insignificant. A good job? Well, everyone has a job. Don't think you're special. Or, "Oh, you bought a house? I bought my first house when I was 25, so what's the big deal?" They can't give you genuine praise because that would mean admitting that you've accomplished something they haven't. But some narcissists don't stop at belittling you. They go a step further and make you feel guilty for your success. They'll say things like, "Oh, you must be so busy now. I guess you don't have time for family anymore." Or, "Wow, now that you're successful, I suppose you don't need to help your parents anymore, huh?" They twist your achievements into a burden, making you feel like by growing, you're somehow betraying them. And if you're not careful, they'll pull you right back under their control, just because you don't want to be seen as the ungrateful child. But the most brutal reaction comes from hidden competition within the family. In a narcissistic household, love isn't unconditional, it's a contest for validation. If you have siblings, you may notice that the moment you succeed, your parents' treatment of you shifts. They may start comparing you to your siblings or worse, use them against you. Your sister is still struggling while you just had everything handed to you. Or, "I'm sure your brother would have been just as successful if he had the same opportunities as you. And if you were the golden child growing up, don't be surprised if you suddenly become the scapegoat when you outshine them." A narcissist can't tolerate anyone standing above them, even their own child. If they can't control you anymore, they might change their attitude toward you entirely, shifting from affectionate to distant, from supportive to dismissive, from warm to cold. Even worse, they might try to sabotage you in subtle ways. If you help them financially, they may exploit your generosity, draining you until you're too exhausted to pursue your dreams. If you're more successful than other family members, they may spread rumors that you're arrogant, that you've changed, that you don't care about family anymore. They want to control how others see you, ensuring that no one dares to acknowledge that you've risen above them. And all of this is rooted in fear. They fear that if you truly realize your worth, you'll break free from their toxic influence. They fear that you build a life where they no longer have control over you. And most of all, they fear that one day, you'll look back and realize you don't owe them anything. But here's the truth. You don't need permission to succeed. You don't have to shrink yourself to make others comfortable. And, most importantly, you don't need your family's approval to know that you deserve everything you've worked for. But I know that dealing with a narcissistic family isn't easy. They're not strangers you can cut off. They're the people who shaped your early life and who may still have a hold on you. So how do you protect yourself? How do you hold on to your success without getting pulled back into their control? And most importantly, how do you escape the guilt of choosing your own path? Stay tuned, because in the next section, we're diving into powerful strategies to break free from narcissistic family dynamics without losing yourself in the process. What you're about to hear could change your life forever. Sarah spent years working tirelessly to build her career. She started from nothing, staying late every night, skipping vacations, and turning down social events to chase her dream. And then the day finally came, she landed the promotion she had been working for. Overjoyed and proud, she immediately called her mother, expecting a moment of celebration, a little pride from the person who mattered most. But instead of excitement, she was met with a cold voice. "Oh, that's great. But did you remember today is Grandma's anniversary? I guess you've been too busy with your career to think about family. Her joy vanished. In an instant, she went from feeling elated to feeling guilty, questioning whether she had made the right choices. Sound familiar? The narcissist won't attack you outright, but they know exactly how to make you doubt yourself, how to crush your joy, and how to turn your success into something shameful rather than something to be proud of. But here's the truth. Your success is not the problem. They are. And if you don't learn how to protect yourself, they will keep finding ways to dim your light. So, how do you protect yourself? Stop seeking their validation. Accept this reality. A narcissist will never truly celebrate your success, not because you don't deserve it, but because they can't stand the thought of you outshining them. Every time you look to them for approval, you set yourself up for disappointment. Instead, surround yourself with people who genuinely support you. Share your success with those who will pop the champagne, hug you tight and say, "I know how hard you worked for this, you deserve it." And when the time comes to inform the narcissist, treat it like a neutral piece of information, not a test of love. If they react negatively, remind yourself, you don't need their approval to know you're doing great. Don't let them control your emotions. One of the most dangerous tactics of a narcissist is emotional manipulation. They know that if they can make you feel guilty about your success, you'll be more willing to step back. So, whenever you feel their guilt-tripping working, ask yourself, why am I feeling this way? Is this really my fault? Or is this just another way they're trying to pull me down? Remember, no one can take away your happiness unless you let them. Set firm boundaries and stick to them. Narcissists will constantly test your limits. They may demand your time, seek your attention, or try to make you feel guilty for not prioritizing them over your success. Learn to say no without guilt. If they try to dismiss your success, be firm. I'm proud of this, and I won't let anyone minimize it. And if they react with anger or emotional withdrawal, remember, their discomfort is not your responsibility. A mature person will respect your boundaries. A narcissist will try to break them. Don't get pulled into their games. Narcissists thrive on provocation. They want you to argue, to defend yourself, to prove yourself to them, because every time you do, you hand them control. Don't play their game. When they stir up drama, walk away. When they belittle your success, smile and move on. When they try to guilt-trip you, remind yourself, you don't need to justify your success to anyone. A narcissist will always try to make you feel small, but you cannot let them win. You worked hard to get where you are today, and no one has the right to take that away from you. But I understand that distancing yourself from a narcissist, especially if it's family or a partner, isn't always easy. You may feel torn between protecting yourself and maintaining the relationship. So how do you escape this toxic cycle without feeling guilty? How do you fully embrace your success without being trapped by their manipulation? And if they refuse to accept your boundaries, what should your next step be? Stay tuned, because in the next section, we're going to dive into how to break free from a narcissist's control permanently without losing yourself in the process. What you're about to hear could change how you deal with narcissists forever. You've set boundaries, you've stopped seeking their approval, you've learnt to manage your emotions. But no matter how much you try, the narcissist still finds ways to pull you back under their control. Maybe they shift from criticism to playing the victim, making you feel guilty for abandoning them. Or they suddenly become kind, act concerned, even praise you, only to lure you back into their influence. This is the final test. If you pass it, you'll truly be free. First, you must accept that you cannot change a narcissist. As Dr. Ramani Devasula puts it, narcissists don't change because they don't believe they need to. They don't think there's anything wrong with them, so they see no reason to change. Once you fully grasp this, you will stop wasting energy trying to make them see the light. Instead of trying to fix the relationship, you'll focus on protecting yourself. One of the most effective strategies is the grey rock method, recommended by Dr. Shari Steins. Narcissists thrive on emotional reactions. If you respond with anger or sadness, they win. They regain control. But if you become emotionally unresponsive, don't argue and don't give them any kind of stimulation, they will gradually lose interest in manipulating you. When they try to provoke you with passive-aggressive remarks like, "Wow, must be nice being so busy with work that you can't even call your family," instead of defending yourself or apologizing, respond neutrally. "Yeah, I've had a lot going on," no emotions, no debate, nothing for them to latch onto. At the same time, you must stop giving them fuel. As Dr. Craig Malkin, author of Rethinking Narcissism, explains, narcissists feed on admiration, control, and emotional reactions. Take those away and they starve. Every time you try to please them, prove your worth, or justify your success, you're giving them energy to keep manipulating you. The solution isn't to argue or make them understand, it's to withdraw completely from their game. However, sometimes just becoming emotionally unresponsive isn't enough. If the narcissist continues violating your boundaries, you may need to limit or even cut off contact entirely. Dr. Jordan Peterson once said, "You are not obligated to associate with people who make you feel miserable, even if they are family." If someone constantly belittles you, manipulates you, and makes you feel guilty for your own success, distancing yourself isn't just an option, it's essential for your mental and emotional well-being. As you break free from a narcissist's control, you might feel empty, alone, or even guilty. That's exactly how they want you to feel. But remember, you are not alone. Build a strong support system, surround yourself with people who genuinely care about you, and, if necessary, seek therapy to heal from the deep wounds they've inflicted. You deserve a life where you are valued, not a life where you have to fight for recognition. If there's one thing you need to remember from everything we've discussed today, it's this: your success is not the problem, the narcissist is. They may mock you, make you doubt yourself, or try to drag you down, but they cannot change the truth. You worked hard to earn everything you have. A narcissist may be shocked, even enraged by your success because it exposes their deepest insecurity, their lack of control over you. But the reality is, you were never theirs to control. You are not a puppet in their game, and you no longer have to shrink yourself just to make them feel bigger. So stand tall, be proud of what you've achieved, let your light shine. Not to please them, but to live fully as yourself. Your success doesn't need their approval, and your happiness doesn't depend on their validation. One day they may realize they've lost you, but that is no longer your concern, because you've moved forward, and you are never looking back. Thank you for watching this video. If you found it helpful, don't forget to share, hit the like button, and most importantly, keep moving forward on your journey without letting anyone hold you back. You deserve every good thing you've worked for. This is your story. Write it on your own terms.